we take up the process of resolution of a vector. In process of addition, what we did, हमने दो वेक्टर्स लिए, एक वेक्टर A है, एक वेक्टर B है. इन दो को कंबाइन करके हमने एक वेक्टर C बनाया. So C is the combination of A and B, or C is the sum of vectors A and B. Now, given a vector C to us, अगर मैं आपको a vector C दिखा दूँ, so this is a vector C. Given a vector C to us, can we split it into two vectors? This question is very simple. Answer to this is yes. We can always think of splitting this vector C into a vector A and vector B like this. Or we can think of splitting this vector C into a vector A and vector B, yeah, A1 and B1 like this. So this is A1, this is B1. We can also think of splitting this vector C into two vectors. That vectors could be like this. So let's call this as a vector A2 and vector B2. In all these cases, you are obeying the triangle law. Triangle law कहीं भी violate नहीं हो रही. और these are all the probable correct answers for expressing C. So I can express C as A plus B, or A1 plus B1, or A2 plus B2. And there are infinite other ways in which you can do it. So a rule emerges here that given a vector C in space, we can split it into two components in infinite number of ways. And this A and B will be now called as the components of the vector C. But if we permit this process to carry on, there will be a lot of confusion and chaos that how to split a vector, because you could have as many as infinite number of answers for a given vector. तो हम इस process को एक discipline में ले आते हैं by introducing the concept of the Cartesian plane, which we call as the vectors to lie along two directions such that those directions are perpendicular to each other. Now think of a situation like this. Okay, this is now a Cartesian plane. Here is some vector C, and if I tell that I have to split this vector C into two components such that those components must necessarily lie along x-axis and y-axis, in how many ways can this process be done? Now the answer is unique, and this process of resolving a vector into two components, one component lying along x-axis, so here is one component lying along x-axis, another component lying along y-axis, this unique way of splitting a vector is called as the rectangular resolution. So I can say that this vector C, which is now equal to A plus B, to C is still equal to A plus B. A is its x component and B is its y component. A lies along x-axis and B lies along y-axis, and the process is rectangular resolution. So rectangular resolution gives a unique answer. It does not give us infinite number of answers, but corresponding to a given vector, there will be a unique set of two vectors which will be its two rectangular components. Now this method of splitting makes another very important result. The result is that if I have to express magnitude of C in terms of magnitude of A and B, I will continue working with parallelogram law, but in this case you will see that C square becomes equal to A square plus B square. If I write it further, 2AB, then I know that the angle between A and B is 90 degree. Cos 90 degree is 0. So C square becomes equal to A square plus B square. Or C becomes equal to under root of A square plus B square. Or C, which is a given vector, is under root of x component of the given vector. So we take its x component, square it, take its y component, square it, and we get the result. becomes now very significant, that we make a representation of the direction of x, a permanent representation of the direction of y, and we introduce the concept of a unit vector. What's a unit vector? A unit vector is one whose magnitude is 1. So a unit vector is that whose magnitude is 1. It can have a direction which will vary from case to case, but magnitude is always equal to 1. How we can think of a unit vector? Think of any vector A. So if I say this is a vector A, I can always express this vector A as the product of its magnitude, and multiplied, this magnitude is basically a number, multiplied by a vector which I call it as A hat or A cap, that is the unit vector corresponding to A. And I obtain a definition of unit vector. Unit vector A cap becomes a given vector A divided by its own magnitude. So in general, corresponding to any vector, we can have its unit vector which is equal to given vector divided by its own magnitude, its magnitude. So think of a vector, say vector C, D, E, whatever, divide by its own magnitude, you get its unit vector. Now in unit vector corresponding to a vector which is along x-axis, we identify 3 symbols. अगर ये इसका x-axis है, ये y-axis है, और there is third z-axis. So I call a unit distance along x-axis as I cap. So I cap becomes now a unit vector along x-axis. And I call a unit length along y direction is j cap. I call a unit length along z-axis as k cap. So this I cap, j cap and k cap are 3 standard unit vectors in Cartesian plane whose magnitude is equal to 1, and we can now obtain any vector along x-axis, y-axis or z-axis, or in general a vector in space by using these 3 unit vectors I cap, j cap and k cap. Let's see how. Given a vector now, मान लीजिए आपके पास एक वेक्टर है, I call it as R. अब इस R वेक्टर को कवर करने के लिए I have to move along the x-axis first, this much of distance, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक, फिर यहाँ तक, फिर यहाँ तक. तो approximately I can say कि जो भी ये distance है, ये है along x-axis or 3 steps in the direction of x-axis. So I write it as 3 I cap. I cap now indicates the direction of positive x-axis. Minus I cap will indicate the direction of negative x-axis. Similarly, plus j cap represents the direction of positive y-axis. तो फिर से अगर आप इस डायरेक्शन में काउंट करते हैं, so I have to take 1, 2, 3 steps. So that way, ये जो distance है, this is 3 j cap. Here j cap indicates that I have moved along the direction of positive y-axis. So again, using triangle law, I can say कि अगर ये O है, ये A है, ये B है, so vector OB would be equal to, so OB would be equal to OA plus AB, and that way this vector OB, which I represent as R now, R has become equal to 3I cap plus 3j cap. So this 3I will be called as its x component and 3j cap will be called as its y component, and I can generalize this process for a given vector R. अगर point B है, उस point B के अगर coordinates हैं, जो Cartesian coordinates हैं, वो हैं x और y, then this distance OA is equal to x, AB is equal to y, then I can express a vector R as xi cap plus yj cap. तो ये एक generalization है, and from here I can obtain the magnitude of vector R equal to under root of x square plus y square. So x square is x component whole square plus y component whole square, and that way I have a formula for obtaining the magnitude of any vector expressed in the form of the rectangular resolution components or in the form of the Cartesian components. Now I can also say कि अगर ये एंगल मैं थीटा मानता हूँ, ये एंगल अगर थीटा हो, so I can express tan theta will be equal to, so tan theta will be equal to perpendicular divided by base. तो ये perpendicular distance अगर y है, ये है horizontal distance equal to x, so it is y divided by x. So I can obtain the angle subtended by a vector with respect to x-axis theta equal to tan inverse of its y component divided by x component. So in this manner, आपके पास अब दोनों चीजें हैं. You have obtained the magnitude or you have obtained the direction of this vector, which is vector r. We can also make a swapping. Swap हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि there is something called as polar coordinates in 2 dimensions. तो polar coordinates के लिए what we can do कि अगर इस डायग्राम में मैं इस r के मैग्नीट्यूड को लेके दो चीजें एक्सप्रेस करूं, sin theta, so it is perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. इसको हमने इसका y component कहा है, इसको x component कहा है, so this is y divided by r. Remember, I am taking the ratio of magnitudes. I cannot divide a vector with a vector. And I have y equal to r sin theta. Similarly, we have cos theta is equal to base is x divided by r, so it is x divided by r, or x becomes equal to r cos theta. So if I square x and y, x square plus y square, I obtain r sin theta whole square. आप cos theta भी लिख सकते हैं, sin theta भी लिख सकते हैं. तो let's first say कि we have r cos theta whole square plus r sin theta whole square. R sin theta is y, r cos theta is x. So cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. This becomes r square. And if I express now the ratio of these two, y by x, that will be r sin theta divided by r cos theta. So y by x will be equal to r sin theta divided by r cos theta, that is tan theta. For purpose of some mathematical conveniences, we may prefer to use theta and r in place of y and x. So in place of y and x, we may prefer to use r and theta for expressing the components of a vector, that is its x component and y component. If you utilize r and theta, you have used the polar coordinates of the vector. If you utilize x and y, you have used the Cartesian coordinates. And there is a transformation relation between the two. So this is one of the transformation relations. This is the second transformation relations, that we can anytime change between x and y or r and theta as we desire so. तो इसको आप ख्याल में रखें that this I can now write as r cos theta into I cap plus r sin theta into j cap, so that a vector r can be expressed in terms of its magnitude r. So that is the length of this vector and the inclination of the vector with respect to positive x-axis. क्योंकि theta जो हमने angle express किया है, that we have expressed with respect to positive x-axis. So at what angle it is inclined and how long the vector is. So ultimately the meaning of this whole process, or the crux of this process, is कि given a vector we can break it apart into parts or components, and preferably the components that would lie along x-axis and y-axis. आप देखेंगे कि later in the process of addition and subtraction, this change becomes something significant. For example, now I have a vector r1 equal to, so this is a vector r1 equal to 2i cap plus 3j cap. I have vector r2 equal to 5i cap plus 2j cap. Or I want to find the sum of these two vectors, r1 plus r2. No need to invoke parallelogram law. हमें parallelogram law के बगैर भी हम काम कर सकते हैं. So I add its x component, which makes 7i cap. I add the j component or y component, that makes it 5j cap. So why this addition does not require the parallelogram law or the triangle law? The reason is that they are both along x-axis. When vectors lie along the single direction, don't use the vector algebra, they become the process of addition and subtraction become same as the scalars. तो यहाँ पर हम इन दो को as scalars add कर रहे हैं, 5 plus 2 is 7, 3 plus 2 is 5, that has made this operation very convenient. And in case you want to determine that what is magnitude of this resultant vector or what is the magnitude of R1 plus R2, so that will be simply under root of x component square plus y component square as we have done it earlier. So in that manner we can use the process of this rectangular resolution as a convenient way of doing the process of subtraction and addition. We can now extend the process of resolution of a vector to 3 dimensions. तो ये हमारे पास एक वेक्टर है स्पेस में. It has x component, it has y component and it has z component. और जो उसका मैग्नीट्यूड होगा, that magnitude will be equal to under root of x square plus y square plus z square. तो इसको ख्याल में रखें that we can extend on the lines of a 2-dimensional vector, a vector in a plane. We can make a 3-dimensional vector which lies in space with 3 components x, y and z. Its magnitude will be under root of x square plus y square plus z square. आप इसके डायरेक्शन कोसाइंस के साथ भी वर्कआउट कर सकते हो and there can be a relation between the various direction cosines which this vector possesses. Now you can pause the video and solve the problems as shown. Also, you can take some more problems of the same type related to this concept and solve them.